Greg here, aka New York Prepper, and today we're going to be going to the Pennsylvania Elk Expo, and we're running a little bit late. It's Saturday, August 21st, 2021. We're running a little bit late. We slept in a little bit late this morning, but we're going to see if we can check out the Elk Expo. It's ending soon. But the Elk Expo, for those of you guys who don't know, it's held every year in the town of Benezette, Pennsylvania, at the Pennsylvania Elk Country Visitor Center. And it's just a 2-day expo where they do different activities related to elk and elk hunting. They have wildlife biologists that are experts on elk and the Pennsylvania elk herd. And they have a elk calling contest. They have food and music. They also hold the Pennsylvania Game Commission holds the elk lottery drawing, and I actually put in for the elk hunting lottery this year. So we're gonna see if I won the lottery and got a permit for elk hunting. The odds are pretty low because they only give out like about 100 permits, or I think like 150 permits. So the odds are pretty low, but we'll see what happens. So for those of you guys who don't know, Pennsylvania has an elk herd, and as of the filming of this video, 2021, the Pennsylvania Game Commission says there's about 1,500 elk in PA. I personally think there's more than that, but they've been here for a few decades now. Originally, there were elk in Pennsylvania in the 1800s, and then they got extirpated from farming and logging. And actually, at one time in the late 1800s, they completely logged all of the forests in Pennsylvania, and they had a nickname for this part of Pennsylvania where the elk are now. They called it the Pennsylvania Desert because there was so many trees that were cut down. They literally cut down all the trees in Pennsylvania almost, and the soil was completely dry and it looked like a desert here, okay? And now, as you see, everything has regrown and it's a lush wilderness full of all kinds of animals and game. And elk was extirpated because of all the logging activities, but then they were reintroduced around 1920. They reintroduced a bunch of elk from Yellowstone into Pennsylvania. Specifically, they reintroduced them into north central Pennsylvania, which is where we are right now, around the town of Benezette. And they reintroduced them, and for a few decades, the elk herd kind of barely survived, and then they reintroduced more elk in the 1970s and the 1980s. And now the elk herd in PA is very strong. There's a lot of elk here, and most of the elk in PA are limited to north central Pennsylvania around the town of Benezette. That's where the majority of the elk are, but they're spread out throughout multiple counties in north central PA, and that area of PA is known as the Pennsylvania Wilds region, and it's an area roughly the size of Connecticut that is just full of unpopulated wilderness land, and it's all state forests and national forest. It's a very secluded area. It also happens to be a great bug out location. So that's where we're heading right now. And luckily this area is close to our new home, so we can easily visit this area frequently because it's pretty close. And so this is where we're going right now. We're going to the visitor center in Benezette, and we're going to see what kind of activities they have at this Elk Expo. And then afterwards, we're going to do the Elk Country Scenic Drive, which is a scenic drive through the Pennsylvania Wilds region, through all the different state forests. It's a scenic drive, and we're gonna see if we can spot some elk. I got my tripod, I got my spotting scope, and I'm gonna try to get it on film for you guys. I'm gonna try to get a Pennsylvania elk on film. I'm hoping to see some mature bulls. That would be nice, but we're gonna do a few trips here. It's gonna be cool to go back here again in about a month or two when the rut starts in September, October. We're gonna try to get some footage of some elk, maybe fighting or bugling. So that's gonna be cool, but this is my first time to the Pennsylvania elk country area. I've wanted to go here for years, so I'm really excited about this, and maybe I'll win that elk hunting lottery today. We'll see. So stay tuned for footage from the Pennsylvania elk country area and the Pennsylvania Elk Expo 2021, and I hope you enjoy the video. Alright guys, so we're working our way towards the Elk Country Visitor Center. We're in the town of Snowshoe, Pennsylvania. And I wanted to just talk to you guys a little bit about the wildlife in this part of Pennsylvania and in Pennsylvania in general. So again, we're in north central PA in the Pennsylvania Wilds region. It's a very secluded area, about the size of the state of Connecticut. And there's a lot of black bears in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania has about 25,000 black bears estimated by the Pennsylvania Game Commission. And that's a lot of bears because Pennsylvania is not a huge state. So that's a lot of bears. There's a very high density of black bears in this part of PA and in PA in general. So in addition to elk, there's a lot of bears here, and also there's a lot of timber rattlesnakes in this part of PA. So you always got to be careful when you're hiking here. I actually uploaded a video a few months back of a rattlesnake that we saw in the middle of the road over here, and I'll attach a link up above to that video if you want to check it out. But there's a very high timber rattlesnake population here, and also a very high black bear population in addition to the elk. So we're driving through the Quahana wild area, and this is one of the most remote areas in all of Pennsylvania, and it's a roadless area. It's a huge area, thousands and thousands of acres, and it's dedicated to preservation of the forest and the game animals here. You can hunt, hike, fish, and camp over here. They have multiple wildlife viewing areas and viewing platforms and blinds. So if you're interested in wildlife viewing, you can come here. There's also a lot of hunting opportunities here. And this is one of the areas where you can hunt elk if you're granted a elk hunting permit, and if you win the lottery. So it's very secluded here. As you can see, this is the only road that goes through this area. It's a roadless area, and it's absolutely beautiful. There's a lot of pine trees here, a lot of hemlocks, and it's just a mixed northern hardwoods type forest with some spruces and firs and white pines mixed in, as you can see. And actually, the Quahana wild area used to have a major nuclear fuel testing site where they tested different types of nuclear fuels, plutonium, and different types of nuclear materials. They did testing here, and there was actually some contamination that they had to clean up. There's still a lot of contaminated areas here deep in the forest, but it's a huge area, so the chances of you running into a contaminated area are slim. But it's absolutely gorgeous, as you can see. And this part of Pennsylvania, the Quahana wild area, has the largest continuous stand of white birch in the entire eastern United States. So there's one area here where it's just a huge area of white birch. There's nothing but white birch in this one part of the Quahana wild area, and it's the largest continuous stand of white birch in the entire eastern United States. So it's definitely worth coming out here to see if you live anywhere in the Northeast or even the Middle Atlantic states. You can come here. It's only a couple hours drive from much of the eastern big cities, and it's definitely worth coming out here. And you can look for elk while you're here. There's multiple viewing areas, as I mentioned, where you can try to spot some elk and other types of wildlife. So I'm just going to show you guys some of the scenery here as I'm driving through the Quahana wild area, one of the most remote areas in Pennsylvania and in the eastern United States. This is a great bug out area. If you're a prepper, this part of Pennsylvania is one of the best bug out locations in the entire eastern United States. It's an area the size of Connecticut that's lightly populated, and it's far away from any major cities. So stay tuned for some scenery here from the Quahana wild area. Just wanted to show you guys some of the pine forests here in the Quahana wild area. It kind of reminds me of the Black Hills of South Dakota. There's a lot of these pines here, which it's really interesting for the eastern United States to have these types of pine trees. That means that there's very sandy soils here, but it kind of reminds me of the Black Hills, the southern Black Hills of South Dakota. They have a lot of these pines everywhere, so it's pretty interesting. Just wanted to show you all these pines here on the side of the road. And we're driving under a thunderstorm right now, a light thunderstorm. See how densely wooded this area is. Raindrops here, guys. It's crazy. Alright guys, so we left the Quahana wild area and we're getting close to Benezette, where the Elk Country Visitor Center is. And what's interesting is there's some leaves that are already changing color. It is the end of August, so fall is going to be here in just a couple more weeks. And there's already some beech trees that are starting to turn yellow. You can see in this video here, some of the leaves are starting to turn yellow already. So I don't know if that means we're gonna have a cold winter this year. Just wanted to show you guys that and show you some of the scenery here. Look at these yellow leaves on the trees here. So we're entering the official elk area. You see they have this sign here, do not stop on roadway, respect private property. I guess they have a problem with people walking on private property and stuff like that, so they have this big sign here. Got an elk crossing the next 4 miles. We'll see if we see any elk crossing over the road here. Alright guys, so we made it to the Elk Expo. Got some vendors here. We're gonna walk through and check it out. Looks like it's starting to wind down a little bit though. It's a good amount of people here. Check this out guys. Huge parking area here. A lot of cars. It's filled up. Discovery room.
sea of people. If you see someone who says, be obstinate and help people. Wild region of Pennsylvania Elk. Space. Keep a distance.
Silly rabbit? Silly rabbit? A bobcat?
It's been here because I was here.
That's just a bobcat.
Kill you. River otter.
I will meet you around. Stick together.
Oh.
And the albino.
When the antlers are actually growing.
Little bit of everything. I got some mail.
other snakes.
Including her. We're new.
All right, I'm good. Yeah, there's room up here, and then I.
Clean the church. And they have what's called walls.
Turtle needs to be warm.
When it gets cold, they'll go north.
Do you hear the sounds? I think that's what they'll do. We had a big one down to our house. I said, so sad. What else could it have been? What else could it have been?
Where's your coyote?
Yeah, down from the house. I told you I saw. Tell me where it was.
We saw 5 of them together.
That had the mosquitoes. See, that's the here.
We had 2 cats.
Turkey. What the heck is that? No, mine
Morning
is.
about 3 o'clock in the morning. Cat just screaming.
A deer. Looks like a deer. It's a deer.
Oh.
We said coyote.
The nose is longer.
No, yeah.
We got rattlesnake here. Check this out.
There you saw
If it was good, we would find it.
The rattlesnake skin. Snapping turtle shell. Pretty cool. There's the rattlesnake buttons. Rattlesnakes shed their skin multiple times a year. It is a myth that you can age a rattlesnake by the number of buttons on its rattle. Interesting. Albino deer.
Probably out west. Isn't that? But I mean, maybe they get bigger elsewhere, you know.
Thank you for your hard work.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
His stepmom, or whatever she was, your second, your mom, your dad's girlfriend mom, I don't know if she would be leaving or coming. Okay, his dad's third wife. But literally, she was like a couple years older than I am.
You think that's a real albino up there?
I think so. It's got pink eyes.
But she was from Panama, and they took some fish out of the lake at his sister's house, and she was from
They bought everything very fresh.
Yeah,
And
she
they
was
cleaned it
like,
themselves, so.
I was like, no, I'm not gonna get a bone.
That bear skull.
Yeah, Connor's right. He has an albino rat. Yeah, looks very, has the pink eyes.
Those big canines.
No, rat. Yes, the rabbit would be cuter.
Mature, they get the white seed pod, those seeds can be also. They can be ground up or they can be sprinkled, whatever way you want to eat them. But that pot can be used to start fire. It can be used to insulate. It can be used.
Briar Hill rustic furniture. Pretty cool. Chocolate covered bacon. It's interesting. Smoked cheese, I like that. Should we?
He just do what he please.
So this is the Winslow Hill elk viewing area. Supposed to be one of the best spots to see elk. Just wanted to show you guys what it looks like over here. You got this big open area all around here. So there's this pretty big parking area here, and you walk down over there and they have little viewing area where you can sit down, and it overlooks a meadow and a little pond, man-made pond. So we're gonna see if we can't see any elk here today. So we're leaving the Winslow Hill viewing area, elk viewing area. We're gonna see if we can't see some elk over here on these meadows. Best time to see them is obviously right before sunset. You can see these huge meadows here on the side. We're just driving to one of the viewing areas now. It's called Hicks Run Viewing Area. Just wanted to show you guys what the scenery looks like over here. It's pretty steep terrain, very heavily wooded. No signs of elk yet, but we're getting close to sunset, so hopefully we'll see something today. That would be cool. We're driving up to one of the viewing areas here, Hicks Run viewing area. And the sun is going down. Hopefully we'll see something. Not many people here, so that's a good sign. Just walking over to the viewing blind over here. Overlooks a grassy area. What some of the terrain looks like here. Very wild and beautiful area here. Gorgeous weather today. It's about 70 degrees. Not humid at all. Haven't seen any elk so far, but it's still pretty early in the day. Still have another 2.5 hours before sunset. So we're gonna try some other areas now, see if we can't see an elk. at this remote country here, guys. North Central PA. Look at how quiet it is here. Not as many tourists over here in this part of North Central PA. We're heading over to a more quiet and secluded viewing area to see if we can't see some elk. But look at how rugged and remote this area is. A lot of people don't know about this part of PA. Continuing on the Elk Country Scenic Drive. Just wanted to show you guys some of the wild terrain here. They actually filmed a dual survival episode here one time. That was with Matt Graham and Joe Tedeye. They filmed a dual survival episode here in the mountains of North Central PA. I forget the exact name of the episode and the season, but it was filmed right here in North Central PA. But I want to just show you guys more of the scenery here before we stop in at our final destination for today and check out one of the last viewing areas of the day. And we haven't seen anything yet today, but I have a feeling that when we come back in subsequent weeks, we'll eventually see an elk here, a Pennsylvania elk, especially as fall approaches and the elk are starting to get ready for the rut. I'm sure we'll see something. But today was just kind of like a first pass through. I've never been to this area, so I wanted to check it out for my... So I wanted to just scout out the area, see what it's like. And here we have an elk crossing sign over here, next 4.5 miles. Elk crossing. Some pretty rugged valleys here, as you can see. This reminds me a lot of my home state of New York. Reminds me of the Catskill Mountains, just much bigger. But similar terrain and similar forest cover. Alright guys, so we're back in the Quahana Wild area, and this is where we're gonna spend the rest of our evening looking for elk. I just wanted to read some interesting information about this area. So this area was once an industrial complex leased to the Curtiss Wright Corporation for jet engine and nuclear research. It was returned to the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania in 1966. In the early 1990s, the elk herd expanded its range into this 50,000 acre tract. So they were actually building nuclear jet engines over here, and you could still go to the area where they were building these nuclear jet engines, but there could possibly be radiation in some of those areas. But just wanted to read that little bit of history. And pretty interesting. The Cold War was an interesting time, and both the US and Russia had a lot of these secret areas where they were building different types of nuclear fuels and nuclear stuff, you know, nuclear jet engines and nuclear missiles. Just wanted to show you guys more of the Quahana Wild area. It's beautiful here. It's truly a hidden gem. Not a lot of people know about this part of Pennsylvania. It's absolutely gorgeous here. Extremely remote and rugged terrain. And there are elk in this area. Just wanted to show you guys this beautiful little stream here, and look at these dense woods here with a lot of rhododendrons and mountain laurels here. Look at this, guys. This is prime bear country. Look at how dense those woods are. It's a beautiful area here. Quahana wild area. This should be a national park. It's beautiful. Look at this, guys. It's absolutely gorgeous. Just want to show you guys the beautiful secluded woods here in the Quahana wild area. Surprisingly, a lot of spruces and firs here, which you wouldn't expect in Pennsylvania. As you can see, there's a lot of these look like tamarack. And a lot of spruces and fir trees here. But we're not far from where they did the nuclear jet engine research. And it's super quiet here. No signs of civilization at all. Check this out, guys. A little hiking trail here. Look at those dense evergreen woods. A lot of spruce and fir up here. So we're at the Goddard Wyckoff Run Natural Area, Reptile and Amphibian Protection Area. It's beautiful woods here. Very secluded. So we're on this forest road here in the Quahana wild area. And it's really beautiful here. Extremely remote. Lots of fir and spruce trees. This reminds me of the Adirondacks or somewhere a lot further north. I wanted to show you guys some of this beautiful woods here on this road I'm on. Beautiful open woods. Good area to spot an elk. A lot of oaks here. Look at that. It's gorgeous. Just wanted to show you guys this beautiful open area here. So quiet, can't hear anything except the birds. Alright guys, so I'm walking over to this wildlife viewing area. It's getting dark now, slowly. So maybe I'll see something. Got my 44 mag just in case I run into a bear. So just want to show you guys what the terrain looks like over here. There's a lot of open terrain. Good area to see an elk or a bear. Looks like we got some hoof marks over here. Right over here. Can't tell if that's a deer. Looks like that's probably a deer. So let's see if we can find some elk or maybe a bear or something else. Stay tuned. Look at this gorgeous area here, guys. Absolutely gorgeous. Nobody around. Sun is going down right now. I'm not sure if we'll see an elk here. It's a little bit too wet, but maybe we'll see something else. Alright guys, so I didn't see anything at the viewing area, so I'm just hiking down this little dirt road here. It's a woods road. Maybe we'll see something going a little bit deeper. Glad I got my 44 with me. Right now is prime time for bears to come out. It's right before sundown, so I gotta be careful. I think I see a deer over there. There's a young buck over there. Look at that. Looks like a little 6-pointer. They see me, little 4-pointer. Hopefully he doesn't charge. He's guarding his doe. Hopefully he doesn't charge me. He looks pretty agitated. I think I'm gonna turn around. Don't want to bother these guys here. Just want to show you guys the area here. It's a beautiful area. Very quiet. Look at this, guys. Absolutely beautiful here. Nobody around. Pennsylvania has some beautiful areas. Look at this, guys. Reminds me a lot of New York. Absolutely beautiful here. There's the road behind me that I came in on. Gorgeous. Look at how quiet it is here. So we didn't see any elk, unfortunately, but it was still nice to come here and scout out this area and familiarize myself with this area. This is going to be my new hunting area, hiking area, snowshoeing area, and also maybe some primitive skills and survival training area. So it was still a fun trip. It was worth it to come here. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Stay tuned to my channel for more outdoors videos, and I'm going to try to get some Pennsylvania elk on film for you guys. It's my quest. So thank you guys for watching. Take care. God bless. And don't forget the 3 Ps. Prepare, practice, and persevere.